something to look forward to every year within the Spirit. They're doing a lot to create representation here.
I participated in the Spirit for 16 years.
Being here is a childhood dream come true.
I just loved it so much that I decided to become a professional artist. And I was working as a commercial diver in Lake Washington, and I called my boss up and told him I quit. I'm a professional artist now. And then haven't looked back.
In the Spirit and the exhibition that we do at the Squigleout House of Welcome annually in the fall really are the only two venues that are annual venues for contemporary Indigenous artists in the Salish Sea area.
The community seems to still be engaged, which is great, and it's growing and growing each year, which is amazing.
Yawaskano Gaguego, Sanoko ga Nikia, so Niboge Sanote, ne Anondion, Onondoa got Nia Neko ne again Yoguayo. Tono Wandi Onondoa ga Yoinza de Dana Nekneadi. Ona Newe, Bremerton, Washington, Lindley B. Logan Nikia, so Gunyo Okaha. So I introduced myself in my Onondaga Guyana language, people of the Great Hill. As Indigenous people, we see the world as having a spirit and a life force, as a living entity. And so as Indigenous people, we relate our relationship to the natural elements in the natural world. So the earth is our Mother Earth. The moon is Soikat Gakwa, our grandmother the moon. The sun is Endika Gakwa, our older brother. The thunderers, Hodihod Zando, are our grandfathers. So we refer to those elements as having a life and having kinship to us. And so my portrait of a natural environment compositions are relating that Indigenous worldview concept. I always, with intent, push the boundaries of what people's expectations are of contemporary Native art. Some of my imagery was developed specifically when I was an industrial design major, taking art history classes. And so kind of streamlining a lot of my imagery, a lot of my objects, my deer animals, my bird in flight that's in the piece. I've also done a number of what I call lost and found recycled to art. And I do that because for us as Indigenous people, we utilized everything. So it's an Indigenous worldview perspective that is part of our Indigenous DNA. And so that's why I do the recycle to art, because it is transformation, and Indigenous people understand the concept of transformation.
My name is Mary Kelsey, and I am a fashion designer living in Seattle, and I specialize in slow fashion, designer-made, one-of-a-kind pieces, oftentimes inspired from my cultural background. I am Unanga from Alaska. That is way out in the Aleutian Islands. There was one in the Spirit year that there was not a fashion show, which kind of, I think, disappointed the community. And so they brought it back and they decided to bring me on. And so it's been, a blessing and an honor to work with them every year. Part of this collection is actually like a water collection. And so since my people, we come from the ocean, I have a waterfall gown and it's very shimmery and blue, and it just looks like waterfall just going down the body. It's great to just be around Indigenous women and sisters who are passionate about the same thing. We like to laugh, we like to joke around, but we are very serious about our work and who we are as professionals in fashion. Part of the movement that I'm in is in slow fashion, and I hope that the audience will take a look at what slow fashion is, you know, because all of our designers here today are representative of makers. We make all of our fashion. We're not outsourcing from a manufacturer or a factory to make these garments, and we want to show, like, locally there are people who make clothes.
It was like every single star aligned. People knew that I was good at it, and I just said, I'm not going to do it. If I was meant to sew, then it would come and find me. And then it did, through all the right people at all the right times. And I was introduced to Mary, the owner of Mika Clothing, and she said, I would love to have you. My middle name is Sunshine. That's a name that my grandmother gave me that is really important to me. So a lot of the times I'll introduce myself as Samantha Sunshine to honor my grandmother. I am Turtle Mountain Ojibwe, and I am from Tacoma. I was a ribbon skirt maker, and I loved it. You know, after not sewing for a long time and then sewing again to make ribbon skirts, it felt like riding a bike. You know, that muscle memory never really goes away. But I was designing on the side. I was drawing out everything I wish I could have made. I got to pull one of them out of the vault and actually make it this last March, and it kind of turned into a whirlwind. That skirt was a black pencil skirt with what I call fire fringe. It's all white fringe that's dip dyed in all of the fire colors. So when I twirl, all this fringe on my skirt spins around. These colors mean a lot to me because I think it represents the women that are around me, that have supported me, have taken care of me, and talked me through a lot of things, and are my mentors. Kind of pulled my own medicine from it for a long time, actually, and now it's kind of coming into a physical space, but just representing like the passion and power and the fierceness. I was raised by my Ojibwe mom, my Ojibwe grandma, and my Ojibwe great-grandma. My grandma and my great-grandma are boarding school survivors. They're pretty strong women. Always having my mom, my grandma, and my great-grandma, who's still alive, by the way. She's 88 and she's still got it. But I think that matriarchal part, it comes from that.
Hello, my Acoma name is Ziwaitai. My English name is Joe Seymour Jr. I come from the Pueblo of Acoma, and I also come from Squaxin Island here in Washington. When I'm designing Acoma design, I feel like my mom's looking over my shoulder. You know, she passed away in 2016. So, you know, to be able to do this style of work, you know, I think brings me closer to her. And, you know, I know that, you know, she would approve of the work that I'm doing. It just makes me feel like just connected to her even more, even though she's not here. Traditionally, Acoma pottery is 3 colors, white, black, and reddish orange. And that's primarily because of the resources of the land. Everything we got traditionally came from nature. But that's what all stems from for me is you know, getting back to the traditional colors that delineates Acoma pottery, that tells you this is pottery from Acoma. I think glass is really exotic. It's not a contemporary idea to work with glass. I mean, Romans did it, you know, 2,000 years ago. And, you know, Acomas were making pottery 2,000 years ago. So to take the idea of glass and bring in Acoma design, I think is just an amazing idea. We don't have to stay in the space that we're in, because, you know, for 16 years, you know, I was doing traditional Coast Salish pieces. But now I get to, you know, go down another road. I'm not kind of staying in the box that everybody expects me to be in. And I'm doing what I need to do to grow creatively. And that idea really resonated with the hiring committee. When I did my art talk in front of everybody who wanted to come at UW, you know, I talked about both Salish and both Acoma and what I wanted to bring from those cultures into UW. And I think it was just an amazing experience. And so, yeah, they hired me. And then to get the Professor of Indigenous Arts is a really prestigious position to have, and especially at a school like UW. Art comes from nature, art comes from the food we eat, art comes from the land we live on. And I want to encourage my students to look at those elements to create their own designs. Not just something that's Coast Salish, not just something that's Tacoma, but something from where they come from.
Community is everything. Community is everything. Having a support system and building that community to give and receive, right, is one of our most important things that we follow to take care of each other, to take care of the land, to take care of everything around us, all peoples. I feel like the reason why I'm here is because I've had so many people supporting me within the last year of this journey, lifting me up and encouraging me and helping me go where I need to go. In exchange, I do the same for them because I want them to achieve their dreams. Community it's so important. Building that up and taking care of other people, it comes back around.
Curtis Ashby. I'm a graphic designer and mural artist here in Tacoma. I've been doing art since I was probably 18 or 20, and I've been creating murals here in Tacoma since about 2014. And so I've just kind of, since then, just continuing to spread my art across the city. I want to bring elements of nature into the mural that can be found in the space that the mural is going to be located. So right now I'm hoping that the mural will go in Swan Creek. So I'm looking at Swan Creek for inspiration, seeing what kind of plants and wildlife are in that area and what I can highlight on the mural itself. I feel like my art connects to the community in a couple different ways. One is I love having volunteer help. It's so fun. One, it helps speed up the process, but it also it creates another level of involvement and pride in the community. I really appreciate when people come and help and they feel a sense of ownership as well, and I think that's really important. It's not just me that owns the mural, it's the community that owns the mural. A lot of my murals depict birds and nature, and so I want to bring that natural connection back into the city, sort of showing a juxtaposition of city life and nature. Tacoma is extremely unique. I love the city so much, and it's amazing. There's so many opportunities for artists here, and just the community itself is just incredible, so supportive, and it's a great place to live. It's a great place to create art. I feel like Tacoma is a piece of my art. Tacoma has inspired me and really is what motivates me to do what I do.
The beautiful thing about the Neighborhood Council program, from day to day, it can go from helping a neighbor connect with food services, to planting trees, to picking up litter, sometimes just having another soundboard to talk through maybe a problem you need a solution for. Sometimes it's just as simple as gathering for our general meeting and just chatting with neighbors to see what we want to do in community or how we can move forward with solving a problem.
The community councils help advocate for the community members together so that we all have a voice to the city. That way we can implement different programs, policies, and procedures, even legislative topics, even to getting proclamations done or even fundraising for different events throughout the city.
Watching people show up at the meetings is super inspiring to me because meetings can be a lot of dry material, and for you to take time, which is so precious, especially when people are working 2 jobs, to come and be concerned. I feel that not only is community really receiving a gift when people show up to volunteer through the Neighborhood Council program, honestly, I feel like I'm receiving a gift and being inspired by all these people that are showing up and seeing them for who they are and the gifts they have to give to community.
Community wants resources. Community wants answers. Community wants engagement. One of the challenges that we had with neighborhood councils is people don't even know they exist. They don't know how they operate. They don't even know that we're the only nonprofits in the city that have a Tacoma Municipal Code, which means that we are supported by the city.
The City of Tacoma does maintain a neighborhood councils section on their website, and that will list all 8 of the neighborhood councils as well as the Community Council of Tacoma.
Find your area. There's a handy little map there to help you find it. Click on your district's neighborhood council, and then there's an email to contact them along with their meeting dates and times. It's usually once a month that we meet as a whole with all your liaisons.
Neighborhood and Community Services, the team at NCS have been phenomenal in supporting us. They are the department that support the Neighborhood Council programming. Whatever we need information on something, youth services, permitting through planning and development, if we need help going through the contract. And I will also give a shout out to venues and events. They have been phenomenal in supporting anything we want to do in community to the best of their ability.
Every neighborhood council is unique in their own way. We still all communicate together under the CCOT, which is Community Councils of Tacoma, which one executive board member of each neighborhood council is a part of to help support each neighborhood council. Part of that starts building trust within the community to get more and more people involved, knowing, hey, we're real, we care about the community, we're gonna do this together, how can I help? I highly encourage you to come to one of our meetings, any of the neighborhood councils, and start watching and learning what we're doing. I mean, membership's free.
When I first started in community, I didn't know quite what to do, and I thought I didn't have a big enough gift to bring to the table. Everybody has a gift to give, be it calling to check on a neighbor, picking up some litter in front of your home. It does not have to be a big service, because all of the smaller services add up and they count. Even if someone isn't watching, people will notice when garbage is missing or something's been weeded or someone has a smile on their face that usually doesn't smile. So when you come to community, know we're here waiting for you with our arms open to welcome you, and know whatever you have to bring, no matter what your ability is there's a place for you always.
If you ever want to make a difference in your community, join the neighborhood council. Leadership is not about being the best. It's about making others better, and it starts with the community.
This program has definitely expanded my mind. I didn't realize that I could be in a band and put on a show at these areas.
Live It Out Loud is a unique program in the sense that it is a community-driven experience that encompasses all the parts of the Tacoma music community. The program is meant to be sort of a microcosm of the entire experience being in a band.
It's a place where you get to create your own band and have fun with new people you have never met before, and you get to express yourself through music and create your own songs. And then it's a competition, and if you win, you get to make your own music video from the song you made.
So we take a band from forming a brand new band to picking their music, their covers, to writing a whole song, recording that song, and then obviously getting stage ready and doing a number of shows.
I have like a bunch of opportunities in my band, like whatever my band wants to do, and I have a big say in that. We get to do that, like for the most part, and we get choices on everything.
Live It Out Loud seems to be more involved in the community than every other program I've seen. They have connections and people from schools nearby. They like to set up booking, and someone in the program right now, they book shows for the bands in the program. It's really cool.
I've gigged outside of the program, so it leads you on to being able to do it in the future, which is amazing and sets you up for success for sure.
We get involved with local venues, recording studios, a lot of the producers and engineers that kind of gravitate around it. Also, all of the bands are mentored by Tacoma musicians that have been around for a really long time.
It's this amazing feeling when you get to control this crowd and tell them how you feel and express yourself through your music. It's just an awesome experience.
What makes this program unique is you're in like a selective group, and you get to go to these amazing venues and really show what you can do and see how it's like for professional gigging.
I like having my friends support me on something I like doing, and I like when my friends see me doing something that I love and that I'm good at. So I love being on stage, and just the shows are so much fun. So yeah.
We've pretty much finished our original song. Like we have a couple more things to tweak on it, but it's gonna be really fun to record a song.
Live It Out Loud being part of Ted Brown Music Outreach allows us to keep the price approachable by leveraging things like funding from city organizations like Tacoma Creates and other sponsors and nonprofits. So we have scholarships and things like that that are also available for people that may not be able to afford it. The principal ideal is being able to accept pretty much anybody that wants to do this. So it becomes not cost prohibitive to become part of the music scene. The nonprofit Ted Brown Music Outreach also does things like instrument donation and stuff like that. So even if you don't have a bass or you don't have a guitar, there's sometimes ways we can even help with that. So really making it as approachable as possible. And again, being results focused, where our dedication to helping the kids figure out this thing, and that's why we do it, rather than trying to make a whole bunch of money doing it, is a big part of it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Red Noise!
The people are awesome, they're so supportive, and they're amazing, and they just warm my heart so much, and it's definitely worth it.
It's just thrilling. I really like it.
I really enjoy my bandmates. They're all really nice and fun to play with.
So when you see some of these kids in the first show, still held back, still kind of caged up by some of these things, and then the last show, they've opened up, ready to express themselves and feel good about themselves and start to head in a positive direction, or just using it as to reinforce the direction they're already going. It's magical. It's just amazing to watch it, and it's why we do it. The biggest motivation for me to get out of bed is to see someone really channel that positivity in their lives through music.
I've kind of wanted to create my own music, and this has definitely helped me, and I can see a future and perform on stage with this. This has given me an opportunity to express myself a little more.
I definitely feel like I'm going to pursue music into my adult life and really see how far I can take it and become the best musician that I can be and put on great shows for everybody and be able to put my music out there and how I feel out there into the world.
Sing after me.